Attention viewers, are you ready for a groundbreaking update? Time is ticking, and urgent developments are unfolding around the construction of the Third Temple. With tensions rising and the clock ticking, the fate of this historic project hangs in the balance. Join us as we delve into the video to know the urgent development and latest news surrounding Netanyahu's race against time to realize this monumental endeavor. Here we begin. The Third Temple concept revolves around rebuilding a special place in Jerusalem. Previous temples were destroyed long ago, one during a conflict with the Babylonians in 587 BCE, and the other during a clash with the Romans in 70 CE. Despite the absence of the Third Temple, it holds immense importance in Judaism, particularly in Orthodox Judaism, as it is believed to become the holiest place for Jewish worship. Prophets in the Hebrew Bible express that the Third Temple should be constructed before or during the Messianic age, a special future time also significant in certain Christian beliefs about the end of the world. Many religious Jews aspire to build the Third Temple in the Old City of Jerusalem, specifically at the Temple Mount. However, this goal faces complexities as the Dome of the Rock, a significant Muslim structure, already occupies the same site. This has sparked tensions, contributing to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and becoming a major political issue. Disputes over Jerusalem's control persist, with Israel and the Palestinian National Authority both claiming it as their capital, leading to international disagreements and challenges in achieving peace. Attempts at rebuilding. Since the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE, religious Jews have harbored a deep desire to construct a third temple on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. This aspiration is firmly embedded in Jewish tradition, with prayers for its realization being a regular part of Jewish worship. Although the Third Temple has not yet been built, the dream holds sacred significance in Judaism, particularly within the Orthodox community, and is envisioned as the future holiest place for Jews to worship. Following the demise of the Second Temple, several attempts were made to rebuild it. Emperor Hadrian initially permitted reconstruction, but the plan was abandoned. During the Bar Kokhba revolt in 132 CE, efforts to build a new temple commenced but were thwarted, resulting in the writing of the Mishnah to preserve traditions. Subsequently, Roman Emperor Julian attempted to rebuild the temple in 361 to 363 CE, but the project faced numerous obstacles, leading to its abandonment upon Julian's death. In 610 CE, the Sassanid Empire briefly granted control of Jerusalem to the Jews, enabling animal sacrifices to resume. However, the Byzantines later reclaimed the area, transforming the unfinished structure into a refuse site. During the Muslim conquest in 637 CE, clashes erupted between Jews and Arabs, with Muhammad proposing unity under Abraham's banner. Subsequent efforts by Jews to rebuild the temple were thwarted by Arabs, who repurposed the site for prayers. Despite mainstream orthodoxy awaiting divine intervention, groups like the Temple Institute actively advocate for the construction of the Third Temple on the Temple Mount. Following Israel's capture of the Temple Mount in 1967, Rabbi Shlomo Goren, chief rabbi of the IDF, challenged norms by leading Jews in prayer services on the Mount, despite resistance from Muslim guards and police. Chief rabbis Unterman and Nissim reinforced laws restricting Jewish access to the Mount. At the same time, Goren persisted in advocating for a synagogue on the Mount and supporting the construction of the Third Temple. Although entry to the Temple Mount remains prohibited by the rabbis, tensions persist, as evidenced by a significant number of Jews praying there in 2014, amidst ongoing disputes. Importance of the Third Temple. Even though you won't find the water ceremony written in the Torah, it's a significant part of traditions passed down orally from Moses. People consider it a joyous occasion, even though it's not formally documented. In ancient temple times, this ceremony lasted for 15 hours, starting in the morning and continuing all night until the next morning when temple services resumed. During Sukkot celebrations, worshippers from far and wide would gather together. For the last 6 days of Sukkot, a water ceremony took place during the morning service. Priests would fetch spring water from the Shiloh spring at the base of Mount Moriah and pour wine and water into special holes on the stone altar upon their return to the temple. The Shiloh pool, also known as Shalom in English and Silwan in Arabic, holds great biblical importance. It is believed to have revived once the Third Temple was built. Pilgrims would traditionally begin their journey to Jerusalem for religious festivals from this pool, purifying themselves before offering sacrifices in the inner court of the Temple Mount. But why are people eager to build the Third Temple when some believe Yeshua resides in the true tabernacle in heaven? It's not just about constructing a building. It's about providing God with a special dwelling among his people. As the Bible states, "Let them construct a sanctuary for me, that I may dwell among them." Prophet Ezekiel witnessed God's special presence leaving the old temple, but prophesied its return to a new permanent home in Jerusalem. The wise Jewish thinker Rambam suggested that the Third Temple symbolizes God's eternal presence with his people. Therefore, building the Third Temple isn't solely about the past. It's about affirming that God is ever present among his people. Obstacles in attempts at rebuilding Temple Mount. The journey toward rebuilding the Third Temple encounters a major obstacle: the presence of two ancient Islamic structures, the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock on the Temple Mount. Any attempt to modify or construct Jewish buildings near these sites could trigger significant international conflicts due to the strong Muslim connection to these holy places. Disputes persist regarding the exact location of the Second Temple. While the Dome of the Rock is believed to occupy its original site, some scholars argue for alternative locations, adding layers of complexity to the issue. Most Orthodox Jewish scholars refrain from immediate reconstruction efforts, awaiting the arrival of the Messiah. The lack of agreement on cubit measurements, a unit used in the temple's construction, further complicates matters. According to the Talmud, the Second Temple was only feasible through direct prophetic guidance from figures like Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. Without valid prophetic revelation, the challenge of rebuilding remains, even if the contested mosques no longer occupy the original site. Despite these challenges, various groups advocate for development around the Temple Mount, highlighting the potential benefits of spiritual tourism. They draw inspiration from historical precedents, such as King Agrippa's era, when millions visited Jerusalem, suggesting that spiritual tourism could foster economic growth, benefiting local and regional communities, many of which struggle with poverty. Building the Third Temple. In their mission to rebuild the Third Temple, the Sanhedrin is dedicating considerable effort to prepare for the eventual restoration of temple service. It's not just about constructing physical structures and performing rituals. It's about embracing a broader approach that respects the profound connection between the land and the divine. Speaking on behalf of the Sanhedrin, Rabbi Hillel Weiss stresses that the temple represents more than sacrifices and bloodshed. It embodies the deep bond between the land and the divine presence. To address the agricultural requirements of the Third Temple, the Sanhedrin is actively involved in various projects. One notable initiative is the establishment of the biblical temple forest, a vital resource for future temple rituals. This forest serves as a tangible symbol of the intricate relationship between the land and the sacred practices envisioned for the upcoming temple. Recognizing the significance of trained personnel for temple service, the Sanhedrin has established an institution to educate individuals who will serve as priests in the Third Temple. Concurrently, efforts are being made to produce replicas of ancient temple materials. Some of these replicas are already on public display, highlighting the meticulous craftsmanship invested in recreating essential components required for the temple's operation. With this reconstruction, something mysterious was also found. A recent discovery beneath the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount has captured widespread attention. While the mosque holds immense significance for Muslims believed to have been built by the revered figure Abraham, an unexpected find was unearthed beneath its floors. Beneath the mosque lies a remarkable site where Jewish rituals for spiritual cleansing were once conducted. This discovery sheds light on the diverse religious significance of the location. Renowned researcher Robert Hamilton, specializing in ancient artifacts, stumbled upon this revelation following an earthquake that damaged the mosque. He uncovered a Jewish ritual bath known as a mikvah, dating back to the Second Temple period. The mikvah held profound importance for Jewish individuals, serving as a vital site for spiritual purification before ascending to the sacred area of the Temple Mount. This discovery challenges previous assumptions and beliefs, particularly regarding the existence of an ancient Jewish temple at this site. While some doubted its historical presence, this finding offers compelling evidence supporting its existence. Beyond its archaeological implications, this discovery underscores the profound intertwining of religion and culture in this historically significant location. The challenge of the red heifer and their arrival. The red heifer, a vital component of ancient purification rituals outlined in the Book of Numbers 19:2-10, presents a unique challenge in the process of temple reconstruction. According to divine instruction, Moses and Aaron were tasked with procuring an unblemished red heifer for specific rituals. After its sacrifice, its ashes, along with cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet material, were collected for future purification rites, symbolizing purity and renewal. Deeply rooted in ancient religious traditions, these rituals carry profound symbolic significance. The flawless nature of the red heifer symbolizes purity and serves as a metaphor for the cleansing of impurities. Some interpret these practices as early symbolic representations of Jesus' sacrificial role, drawing parallels between the red heifer rituals and Christian beliefs. This interpretation finds echoes in various texts of the New Testament, notably Hebrews 9:13-14, which draws comparisons between the red heifer sacrifice and Jesus' ultimate sacrifice on the cross. Despite facing challenges, the Jewish community views the arrival of the red heifer as a divine intervention, marking a pivotal moment in their preparations for the future reconstruction of the temple. 5 special red heifers recently made their way to Israel from Texas, marking a significant milestone in preparations for the Third Temple. Less than a year old, these heifers hold immense importance in Jewish law. Suppose they maintain their completely red appearance without any blemishes. In that case, they can be used to produce special ashes necessary for purification rituals outlined in Jewish tradition, particularly for individuals who have been in proximity to a dead body. This purification process is crucial for the future priests, Kohanim, who will serve in the Third Temple. Upon their arrival, the heifers underwent a 7-day quarantine in Haifa to ensure their health. Subsequently, they were distributed to different locations across Israel, with one location open to the public for viewing. The heifers will be carefully tended to until they reach the age of 3. At this point, they will fulfill their role in the purification process. The effort to bring these heifers to Israel was facilitated by a group called Bonei Israel, comprising both Jews and Christians, with rancher Byron Stinson from Texas overseeing their care. Their arrival was marked by a special event at Ben Gurion Airport, attended by dignitaries from the Temple Institute and the Jerusalem and Heritage Ministry. Following the quarantine period, the calves were relocated to 2 different locations in Israel, with one kept undisclosed to ensure their safety. This precaution underscores the importance of the heifers and the desire to safeguard them from harm. The meticulous care provided to these red heifers reflects the Jewish people's commitment to fulfilling prophecies and preparing for the rebuilding of the Third Temple. Further, there was the rediscovery of the ancient Pool of Siloam. The Pool of Siloam, measuring 53 feet long, 18 feet wide, and 19 feet deep, was a remarkable find, meticulously crafted with natural rocks. Unfortunately, it met its demise during Babylon's assault on Jerusalem and the Second Temple. However, the story doesn't end there. During Nehemiah's era, it was rebuilt and later expanded under Herod the Great's reign. This pool held profound significance as a place of healing, particularly during the Feast of Tabernacles, commemorating the Israelites' liberation from Egypt. The Festival of Booths, or Sukkot, is a pivotal occasion in Judaism, honoring the Israelites' survival in the desert. People construct temporary sukkahs, mirroring their ancestors' shelters, expressing gratitude to God and praying for rain. During Sukkot, a priest would joyfully draw water from the pool of Siloam in a golden pitcher, singing psalms as he poured the water on the altar's west side, a ritual entwined with Isaiah 12:3. Isaiah 12:3 declares, "With joy you will draw water from the wells of salvation." This act of pouring water during Sukkot symbolized drawing joyful water from the wells of salvation. Despite the original pool's destruction, its reconstruction enabled people to persist in their traditions, finding solace and jubilation in their heritage. After the rebuilding of a pool of Siloam, a water libation ceremony took place. On October 12th, a momentous event unfolded, a reenactment of the ancient water libation ceremony reminiscent of temple traditions of old. Led by esteemed priests, Kohanim, and Levites, accompanied by melodic tunes from musical instruments, the procession traced ancient routes from Jerusalem's Old City to Shiloh, also known as Siloam Springs. The atmosphere was vibrant with chanting, dancing, and the resounding echoes of silver trumpets. With reverence, they carried a golden jug brimming with water from the Shiloh pool, ascending to the mountain summit where they meticulously recreated a model altar and tools, honoring the time-honored rituals of the ancient temple. As the ceremony reached its crescendo, the air was filled with the rare priestly blessing and the sacred Hakel ceremony, a once-in-7 years occurrence. Although the Torah doesn't explicitly detail the water ceremony, it is revered as part of Moses' oral teachings, celebrated akin to a joyous holiday. In the days of old, this ceremony extended for 15 hours, transitioning seamlessly into night-long festivities, culminating in the morning temple service. Truly, participants from all corners of the globe converged for Sukkot celebrations, transforming it into a universal day of worship and communal jubilation. During the final 6 days of Sukkot, a poignant water ceremony and wine-pouring ritual graced the morning service. Priests meticulously filled a flask with spring water, embarking on a sacred journey from the temple to the revered Shiloh spring at the base of Mount Moriah. Here, amidst hallowed surroundings, 2 priests delicately poured wine and water into designated holes on the stone altar within the temple's courtyard, symbolizing spiritual renewal and divine blessings. The Shiloh pool, also known as Shalom in English and Silwan in Arabic, holds profound biblical significance and has been vividly revived in the wake of Third Temple discussions. Once a starting point for pilgrims embarking on journeys to Jerusalem for biblical feasts, this sacred pool facilitated spiritual purification before presenting sacrifices in the inner court of the Temple Mount. Its discovery in 2004 has unveiled layers of historical importance, enriching our understanding of ancient traditions. According to the Babylonian Talmud, the year following the Shemitah, a special cycle, is deemed propitious for the Messiah's awaited arrival. The prophetic words of Amos foretell the return of the Israelite tribe from distant lands. Amidst these prophecies, the Talmud deliberates on the challenges preceding the Messiah's advent, prompting reflection on the necessity of another physical temple. Instead, the focus shifts towards constructing a spiritual sanctuary through devout living and readiness to confront the trials of the end times. What does Netanyahu say about the recent establishment of a third temple? The location for the reconstruction of the temple remains a contentious issue. While there are differing opinions among religious scholars and political leaders, the primary focus centers on the Temple Mount, specifically the area currently occupied by the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. This site holds deep religious significance for both Jews and Muslims, making any proposed alterations or reconstructions highly sensitive and potentially explosive. Many Orthodox Jews and certain religious groups advocate for rebuilding the temple on the Temple Mount, believing it to be the historic and rightful location. However, this proposition is vehemently opposed by many Muslims who consider the area to be one of the holiest sites in Islam. Efforts to resolve this dispute and determine the exact location for temple reconstruction have been fraught with challenges, including political tensions, religious sensitivities, and international scrutiny. Despite these obstacles, discussions and debates surrounding the temple's location persist, reflecting the complex and multifaceted nature of the issue. The place for the temple. The anticipation of the rebuilding of the Third Temple is intricately tied to the city of David, a name resonating through several biblical passages, notably 2 Samuel 5:9. In the realms of history and archaeology, the city of David stands as a pivotal site in Israel, unraveling layers of the past through extensive excavations. Within the scriptural corridors of 2 Samuel 5:9, mentioning the city of David becomes a beacon, guiding explorations into its historical and archaeological significance. The phrase "David built all around" serves as an enigmatic gateway, inviting researchers to delve deeper into the mysteries concealed beneath the layers of time. Recent archaeological revelations have unearthed the remnants of 5 urban sites interconnected by ancient roadways dating back to approximately 1000 BC, aligning with the reign of King David. The striking resemblance in design and intricate details of these cities fuels speculation about the existence of a sophisticated monarchy, possibly anchored by a central stronghold associated with King David. Intriguing debates surround the proposed location of the original temple. Some reports and videos advocate a novel theory, suggesting a cave as the potential site, challenging the widely accepted location. This discourse injects fresh curiosity into the historical positioning of King Solomon's original temple, opening doors to unexplored narratives. Central to discussions about the temple's restoration is the profound significance of what the Jewish people believe regarding its rightful location. The decision on where to rebuild the temple rests in the hands of the Jewish community. Amidst varied opinions, a prevailing belief persists that the Dome of the Rock, a prominent Muslim shrine, stands on the hallowed grounds of the original temple. The Temple Institute of Jerusalem designates this contested site as the Rock. Further, to rebuild the Third Temple, the Dome of the Rock, a significant Islamic structure, must no longer stand on the site. It's important to note that the Dome of the Rock isn't a mosque, but holds immense religious and historical value. Some propose the idea of a Jewish temple coexisting with the dome, while others insist on its removal. The debate over the temple's location involves deep historical, religious, and political dimensions. It sparks discussions on whether the Dome of the Rock should make way for the temple. This complex decision hinges on religious beliefs, archaeological findings, and geopolitical considerations. As the world observes, the ongoing dialogue holds immense significance for religious history. The resolution of this critical matter will shape the future, with eyes turned toward the evolving discussions surrounding the Third Temple and the intricate tapestry of beliefs, history, and politics surrounding it. So, what do you think of Netanyahu's warning about the Third Temple? Comment below and subscribe for more.